Fry, and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement.
And smart law enforcement should always be the goal. See, this was always going to play out one of 2 ways: the easy way or the hard way. Not easy or hard for the government, but easy or hard for the citizens. The truth of the matter is this: the mayor nor the governor have the stomach for the levels of violence our government is willing to escalate things to in the name of national security and public safety. The hammer was being dropped. There were upwards of 50 or more agents per arrest. You can have your citizens out there blowing all their whistles, yelling and screaming all they want, but all that's going to happen is they're going to get killed and their families are going to sue the state, and the city is going to be held liable. The city and the state, the governor and the mayor, did the smart thing, and they bent the knee. They conceded. The Democrats folded. ICE won. The Fed won. The Fed is pragmatic. The locals are emotional. We're not on the same page, but also we are removing effectively their voter base. Even though these people were not financially benefiting by supporting illegal immigration and these immigrants, they were benefiting from the fact that there was corruption in their mayor's office, in their governor's office, and that trickles down to corruption in their local police forces. That means criminality was being allowed, and crimes were going. A blind eye was being a blind eye towards a lot of crime that was happening. There are crimes against children. There's a lot of trafficking. There's not just fraud. There's a lot of things going on in these enclaves, these big cities, and it's all being protected from the top down. And we had to bust up those rings. And I'll be honest with you, when the smoke clears, the mayor and the governor will be held accountable. I'm not sure if they're going to go to jail or if they're going to be convicted, but there's going to have to be an arrest. Either one of them or both of them are going to have to face some penalties. For one thing, they got these people killed, but also the fact that they're a part of these secret chat rooms that is literally divulging sensitive information, showing people where law enforcement is so they can show up and potentially put themselves in harm's way. We have a military. You do not. You have a bunch of citizens who are mad about law enforcement. This is not tyranny. It is not autocracy. This is not anything like that. This is law enforcement. You do not get to declare which laws you are going to live under. You are going to respect the laws of this country, or you're going to find a new home. Now, if you're an illegal or you're an immigrant, you're going to find a new home. You don't have to worry about our laws anymore. You don't have to worry about Tom Homan. You don't have to worry about the ICE and customs. You don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Trump is the least of your problems now because you're going to be deported. Consider that mercy if you live in one of these cities and you hate our laws and you don't agree with them. As an American, however, you can choose to leave. You don't have to live under this system. This is not the only country on earth. You have not accomplished anything here. A lot of these protesters don't own anything. They don't work. They protest for a living. Why don't you leave the country and go start a new life somewhere else? You don't have to stay here under our rules. I've lived in 7 different countries in my life. I've never lived in a country, decided I didn't like the laws, and decided I wanted to go out and try to fight law enforcement and protest. If I don't like the rules of a country, I simply change the country that I'm living in. I don't go down there and fight and protest, try to change the rules. That's their country. This is only your country by choice. You can leave. If the values of this country do not fall in line with what you believe and what you like, then move. But throwing yourself in the middle of throwing yourself into a firefight with the police, getting yourself killed, creating a big spectacle, it's not worth it. Don't you want to have kids one day? Don't you want to have a family? Don't you yearn for stability? Then what are you doing out there? You don't fight against our laws on the side of the road. You fight against them in a court. You go through the proper channels. You don't just make up your own rules. Right now, what Tom Homan is, what they're going to be doing is they're going to do smart policing. A lot of these illegals are arrested and they're in jail. Why are you going to release them out into the street where they can grab weapons and then we have to go heavy-handed with a bunch of officers to arrest them when we can just do the smart thing and you let us know the day he's getting out of jail and we will be there to greet him at the door. Then we can just take him into custody. We know he's unarmed. He's coming out of jail. That's what's going to happen now. But initially, the governor and the mayors were reluctant. They said no. So what we did is we showed them how worse things could be. Now they beg for the peace and the safety and security of allowing us to take away criminal aliens directly from jail. This had to happen. You want a really good omelet? You're going to have to break some eggs. Unfortunately, we had to crack the eggs over a few people's heads. But those people put themselves in harm's way by choice. They could have stayed home and minded their business. Us removing illegals because you feel like they're going to keep you in power so you can get away with doing all your little disgusting stuff with kids, that's not a surefire way. Eventually, we're going to come for you. It's going to happen. ICE won. Homan won. Trump won. The mayor and the governor folded. They didn't have the stomach for watching more death. They couldn't handle it. We can. We're the American government. It happens. So I'm glad that it got to this conclusion. Now we can actually start doing smart policing. We can draw down on the agents, but we had to let them know what it looks like when the government removes the gloves. And we made a show of force in the snow. This is going to burn a hole in the memory of people in other states. They're going to remember that this could be you if you fuck around and find out. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on another topic in about 20 minutes. Remember, America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.